Hello. Hope everyone is doing well in their recovery. For those that follow me, I'm assuming that you're in recovery or that you're supporting someone who is. Before I forget, I want to mention that I did a podcast interview a couple weeks ago, maybe like a month ago, with Chris Sandel on his podcast is Real Health Radio. And I cannot figure out how to post it on my YouTube channel. But you can go to his podcast or his YouTube or Instagram account, or YouTube, I think, would be where you could find it. And it's long. It's like an hour and a half, so probably take you like a month to get through. If you're anything like me, where I have like 5 minutes to listen to something, and then like an audiobook, I swear to you, it could be like a course of 3 years before I finish an audiobook. Just because my kids are always interrupting me and I have like 5 minutes to drive and pick up a kid or whatever. So don't feel like you can't start it until you can finish it, because it's long. So just take it in pieces. But we discuss all kinds of very common topics that are discussed in recovery. So highly recommend you go listen to that when you get a chance. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, I think it was the last video I made. I had my freshly cut hair, which I still have, but my bangs are pinned back because I didn't think through when you get bangs, you actually have to do your hair. Sometimes I act on a whim. I didn't think through that when you get bangs, you have to do your hair, and I'm locked in to either like pinning them back or actually doing my hair. Today was not my hair. This is my natural curl. And isn't it beautiful? Just kidding. This is a day where I'm getting things done at home, and I am, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm owning it. So that's my point is, excuse me, in my last video, I mentioned like my family hated my haircut, and I said, whatever, it's fine. Like, they can hate it if they want. I'm fine with it. And someone had mentioned, like, how do you get a thick skin, or how do you not care? And there's a difference between like not caring and not letting it affect you, I guess. So like, I'm just gonna back up to a week ago. I think it was less than a week ago when I got my haircut. Did it feel good when my girls were like, ew, mom, your hair is so ugly. I can't believe you did that. I can't even look at you. I should try to attach a video that my older daughter took of Hazel with scissors going, cut your hair, mommy, cut it right here. Please cut it. I can't love you like that. It's actually really funny. Maybe I will post it. It's like a minute and a half, and I can't look at you. I don't love you anymore. Did that feel good? No, of course not. Like, I didn't love that. But also at the same time, it was like, my hair is not me. I'm still, someone that hopefully can make others feel good about themselves, and can not take myself too serious, and sometimes maybe too sarcastic. And I'd like to think I have my head screwed on straight. And so those things don't change, right? When I go and just get my hair cut a different way. And I kind of figure, like, again, when I went to get it done, I thought that morning, getting my hair cut, I want to do something different. Bangs, I'm done bangs, sure. That was kind of the thought process that went on, and that was it. And then I just went and got bangs. And I think because I have the mentality of like, if it's terrible, I'll just let them grow out, and then I won't do bangs again, right? It's like, if there's ever a time to cut bangs and experiment with that, it's when you have like a row of silver braces on your teeth, right? So I figured, why not now? And so that was kind of how that went. But if I was extremely insecure and all of my worth was just like completely wrapped up in my appearance and how I looked, I feel like it would have taken me months to make that decision, if I even ever did. And then if I ended up not liking it, I would have been devastated. I would have been absolutely crushed. I would have, especially the comments that were being made, right? And so that's why it's so important to work towards getting to a place where you do feel comfortable and confident in your own skin. And the person that commented on this, was asking, how do you actually do that? Yeah, in theory, that sounds great. Wouldn't everyone love to just not be, extremely impacted in a negative way by others' opinions of them? Of course. But the only reason that I'm like that And I think some of it, yes, is inherited. I do. Like I said, I grew up in a family who were very like brutally honest. But I also think that in recovery, I learned that I cannot depend on my happiness equating or being determined by how I look in my body, because I had lived that life for so long and I didn't feel content, secure, or confident. And so the lesson I learned in recovery, I feel like has carried with me throughout so many other aspects of my life, that it feels so wonderful. So when we talk about being free and being able to eat whatever you want and being able to, outgrow clothes or have your body fluctuate and all that's great. That does feel like freedom. But then there's those other things, right? Where you can travel and you can not be extremely hurt by others, because in reality, right, there's comments that are going to be said about you that are going to not feel good. And if you take it personal and you let it affect who you feel as a person, then you're going to constantly be trying to alter, change, chase, fix whatever it is that you think is the problem on the outside, when in reality it's the work you've got to do inside. And so back to how I do that, I keep circling around and just repeating the question, and I'm just trying to think while I'm on video, how do you do that? And I really do think it is practicing, and recovery is a perfect environment for this, practicing doing things that you assumed you wouldn't be okay with in terms of your appearance, and just living in that state. So whether that's weight gain, maybe that's letting your face break out, because that happens in recovery. Maybe it's just wearing really baggy, oversized clothes, and that's just really not you. Usually you're totally put together with, maybe it's just not wearing makeup for a little bit. Maybe it's letting your hair look like this. Like whatever it is, this is essentially exposure therapy, allowing yourself to be in a place, like physically, appearance-wise, where you're like, I don't feel that comfortable, but I'm just gonna go throughout my day and see what happens. Like, is an egg gonna be thrown at my head? Are people going to like point their finger and laugh at me? What's the worst thing that could happen? Those would probably be, I would say, one of the worst things that could happen, right? I can't imagine anyone's going to beat you up because they don't like the way you look. But if you can kind of just think about like, okay, I'm going to expose myself to these things and learn that even if those things happen, I can live to tell about it. It'll be okay. I will be okay. And you only learn that by doing it, right? Sometimes people will ask like, Becky, how did you get to a place where you had accepted the weight gain? Right? The full total at the end, like, okay, I am mentally free. That state I was in was a lot farther, in terms of weight than I thought I'd need to go. And the way that I learned to deal with that was I just woke up every morning and lived my life. Sometimes I would cry. Sometimes I would feel like, and this is in recovery, I would feel like I was good for nothing. Sometimes I would feel very incompetent, like my insecurities were extremely highlighted because I was in that bigger body. And I had to learn these two things have nothing to do with me as a mom. Because let's say I'd have a feeling or a doubt that I'm not a great mom, and it's like, because I'm bigger. And it's like, actually, it doesn't even make sense, right? Or it'd be like, I'm so selfish. I should have just taken that thing to, my son who forgot his folder for the 12th time. I should have just like prioritized that. And that has nothing also to do with my body, but I would have blamed it on it because I was heavier. And so while I was in recovery, I was working on not allowing my brain to do that. I was working on, okay, yes, these things are coming up that I feel insecure about, and I'm not going to blame it on my body. I'm just going to keep living my life and coping and doing the best that I can to move forward. And so when I kind of detached my worth from my body, that was when I built up, I guess, in some sense, this, I don't know if immunity is the right word. I'm still human. Of course, I can still get hurt. But this extreme decrease in the focus and interest of my body, and definitely a decrease in the fear of what others thought of it, was by doing that. And as I lived in that bigger body and I just woke up every day and went about my day, sometimes I had fun. Sometimes I would connect with people. Sometimes I would enjoy a meal without anxiety. Sometimes I would feel free from the pressure I used to feel by fitting in a certain size and staying a certain size, and making sure that the comments were coming at a rate that I was used to. All of those things were so exhausting that as I woke up every day in that much bigger body, over time, I was able to kind of retrain my brain, right? To think and feel a different way about living in that body. And I started having positive associations with that body, okay? I want you to think about the last person you judged. I'm gonna do it too. Okay, I got it. I haven't thought about that person since I initially judged them. I'm gonna be honest, we all as humans make judgments all the time, and there's one that came to mind when I thought of that, but it hadn't, since I had this judgment about this person was, what's today, Wednesday, would have been Monday. I haven't thought about it since. It was like a 10-second judgment on Monday, and then haven't thought about it since. But guess what? If that person that I judged is living their entire life to ensure that no one's judging them, one, that'll never happen. But two, I came home and I'm living my life. I haven't thought about that person once. I made a judgment, I moved on. Was it right? Probably not. But that's how normal kind of human interactions, we all are judging and we're all being judged. But if you think about like the actual amount of brain space that someone is taking on judging you, it's very small, it's very fleeting. It really doesn't impact their life at all. But if you give it power, it will destroy your life. Okay? The judgments from others will destroy your life if you give it power. What does giving it power mean? What does giving a judgment about you or at you, what does giving that power even mean? It means reacting in a way, in a fearful way, right? It's reacting in a way where your behaviors are then going to change, right? And shift in order to try to conform to whatever this ideal is that you think is going to protect you from being judged, which, by the way, it doesn't exist, right? There's no bubble in which we can live where we won't be judged. And so by taking the power away from people who want to judge you, it's a superpower, it really is. And the way I did that was just like what I told you just now, that exercise I thought about. Hold on a second. So I'm going to the gym, X amount of hours every single day. I'm a psychopath about like meal prepping. I'm weighing all my food, and I end up hearing all the list of crap that I was going through. And I'm like, and I do that so some random person, some stranger at the gym can be like, whoa, you're so lean. And then they go home and they don't give a crap about me. And then I go home and I carry on all day long to make sure I continue to receive comments like that. And I like thought about that. I was like, that's so messed up. Oh my gosh, And I was able to start seeing like how that impacted my life and how insecure I had become. And so if you're that person listening, you're like, I am so incredibly insecure and I'm so scared to step out of this eating disorder, cage that I'm in because I could be exposed to all of this. Well, you're being exposed to it now. You're just not coping with it very well. So that was a very long answer. It's the end of the day for me, with work at least. And it's the start of the day with my kids being home from school soon. But that is my message to you. It is so worth doing the work that it requires to allow the power of judgment from others to dissipate. It's so worth it. Because like I said, it'll carry on throughout the rest of your life. I always tell my kids, you do not need to worry what other people think about you, so long as you're doing the right thing, right? You should care about what people think of you if you're, screaming, profanities down the street, or you should care about what people think of you if you're bullying someone at school. You should care about all of those things, absolutely. As humans, that is a very healthy and natural thing. But you shouldn't care about what others think about you if you're working on truly trying to be your best self, right? And along the way, you're treating others really well and you're acting in a way, you're carrying yourself with integrity. You don't need to worry about what people think of the way you look. So that's my deep, very emotional video today. Practical tool would be, I guess, just like as the holidays come, practice that skill of just like, okay, this aunt so-and-so who's going to make a comment about my weight gain. Like, am I going to spend the next 2 months trying to either maintain or lose weight to ensure that random aunt doesn't make any comment about me, and then that aunt's going to go home and move on? Think about that when you're trying to cater to all of these things coming up that you may just kind of naturally do without being intentional about changing it, and think, wait, no, I'm not going to do that. Wait, no, I'm focusing on not caring anymore what people think about how I look. I'm focusing on, I can't keep conforming. I have to focus on recovering, come out of this, so that when Christmas comes, I can be like, here I am, this is me. Yes, I gained weight. Check it out. Take some time, look at it. Like, you can do that. I know that is probably feels so crazy as I'm saying that, like, are you kidding? I can never. But you can actually do that. You can make it very light of a situation. It doesn't need to be this big thing, especially if you're doing the work between now and the holidays. I promise you can be in a completely different state mentally than you are now if you can do the work. And I don't doubt that many of you going into the holidays have great anxieties and great reservations about seeing people that love you. So do the work. Okay, have a good day. Bye.